Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm continuing on with my nighttime series of videos, taking a look at the various aircraft in DCS World in a moonlit nighttime environment, and to see what the cockpits look like illuminated at night in DCS under those conditions. So we're in the Hornet right now. And again, I can't remember the last time I was in a Hornet at nighttime, but what I'm seeing is very cool. You can actually still make out some of the textures as you pan around the cockpit. It's lit up rather well. I think it could be lit up a little bit better, kind of like what they did in the Tomcat, but can't complain either, because everything is clearly legible, everything is illuminated nicely. You just can't see some of the texture in the cockpit itself, so it looks like they have a little bit of work to do in that area. Let's take a look at it externally. I would have to say externally it looks fantastic. And again, the Hornet is a flagship product for Eagle Dynamics, so I expected as much. And look at as I pan here, how the moonlight reflects off of the HUD glass right there. And I can also see the green of that light that shines onto the HUD in my cockpit. That's really cool. I also like the fact that peering over my shoulder, and I'll do it again because it's kind of loud and it's hard to talk at the same time, but I'm going to peer over my shoulder and you can actually see the lights illuminated in the cockpit. That's rather nice. Through the canopy into the cockpit, and you can see the lights in the cockpit, how it's illuminated. Very nice. Real nice touch. So I really wasn't expecting that, but again, at the same time, keep in mind, the Hornet really is one of the flagship products from Eagle Dynamics, because this is one of the major modules that they've produced themselves and taken a lot of time and effort with. The real trick is having that moonlit mission. Things are illuminated much better. Things end up really dark otherwise, which isn't all that good. Alright, and here we are in the Viper, and holy cow, I must admit, this looks better than the Hornet by far. See, I can still make out all of the details of the textures in the cockpit. I can see that rudder pedal down there, and you can see the wear and tear on it. So this is much better. They've really done a good job of illuminating the cockpit, not just illuminating the buttons, the dials, and the gauges so you can see them to manipulate them. Here you can see them to manipulate them, but you can also still see that, like, the lighting in there is illuminating the entire cockpit, not just the buttons and the dials and the gauges. Fantastic. This, I would say, is right up there with the Tomcat in terms of how well they've illuminated things. Fantastic. Let's take a look at this thing externally. Now, this guy doesn't have all the extra little external lights like the Hornet does, or the Tomcat, or any of the other planes that we've looked at so far. It may just be that I haven't turned them on, but by default it looks like those lights are turned on in all the other aircraft I've looked at so far. So there's that. And also, I'm not seeing over the shoulder in the cockpit there, I'm not seeing the lights like in the Hornet. Yeah, it just doesn't look the same. But again, the Viper, developmental-wise, is behind the Hornet. So I have a feeling these little visual doodads will be included at some point. But man, does the cockpit look freaking amazing illuminated like this. This has got to be like the probably second most mission ready cockpit in DCS right now. First being the Tomcat. Yeah, this is awesome sauce. Very nice. I miss driving this little sports car. This is like a little super fast 427 Corvette or something, you know. It's just agile and fun. Yeah, fun is an understatement for this thing.
Altitude. Altitude.
Yeah, the Viper's pretty cool. And it's on sale for half off right now at $39.99, which I thought was pretty cool. And so is the Hornet, I believe. However, I will say the Hornet is far more done than the Viper is right now in terms of development. Yeah, so it's very, very hard to see externally because it doesn't have any of those lights. And again, I may not have them turned on because I don't usually look for, you know, how to turn lights on. But usually these missions turn the lights on by default when you choose a specific time and start in the air.
Pull up.
Man, is this thing maneuverable. Man, you could just pull this thing anywhere you want it to go, pretty much. And it picks speed right back up again. Yeah, this is the sports car of DCS by far. And I just wanted to check out the cockpits and see how well they're illuminated because of the changes that were made in 2.5.6 open beta versions. And there has been some updates to some of the other modules in DCS for the lighting in the cockpit at night, and I just wanted to see what these guys look like. Since the Tomcat and the Vigan look so fantastic, I figured I'd just go through and see what these other guys can do. And again, pleasantly surprised by the Viper. I thought for sure that the Hornet, being the older module, would have a lot more detail, but it seems they've put more detail into illuminating the Viper cockpit for nighttime more than the Hornet. The Hornet doesn't look bad by any means, it's just you can't make out the textures. Like, this stuff is illuminated, but you can actually make out the textures in the cockpit. And just like in the Mirage and the Hornet are pretty similar, that like everything else seems to be black in the cockpit, other than just the buttons, dials, and gauges. This, however, looks like I'm actually in a cockpit. Very cool stuff. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And until next time.